Not one time did Tom Brady's knee appear on the injury report. Now, all of a sudden, it was his knee. Don't do this. A story is good enough if it's good enough without you embellishing it. We don't need to embellish a story, Skip. Why would they do that? Tom Brady, that's not good enough that he left New England after 20 seasons. He goes to a new team, and in his first year leads him to the Super Bowl. That's not a good enough story. I need to add some yeast to it because I needed to grow even more. That's what bothers me, really. I love Tom Brady. I think Tom Brady is phenomenal.
You don't love
No, Skip, I really do, because I understand, being drafted where he was drafted, nobody really believing in you, but you believing in yourself, working, gaming on your craft to become, I'm not saying I was the player that, but I worked my tail off to get where I got, Skip.
Yep.
And so I have an appreciation for what he's been able to do and how long he's been able to do it at that level. But don't embellish the story. When I tell people how I grew up, Skip, that's exactly how I grew up. I ain't gonna say I walked 50 miles to school, because I didn't. I had to walk a mile to catch the bus sometimes, but that's it. I'm not gonna embellish anything, because I believe my story is good enough to stand on its own. And where I was, Tom Brady's story is good enough. His NFL story is good enough, Skip. They don't need to do this. Tom Brady's gonna be just fine. If they can protect him, I believe Tom Brady will be back in Tampa, back in position again to compete for a title.
Okay. Are you saying he did not have off-season knee surgery?
No, I'm not saying that, Skip. I'm not saying that he didn't, but I'm saying that he didn't appear on the injury report. Why is it now? That's what you criticize LeBron. Why would you bring that up? That's a built-in excuse. I need that same energy.
Well, they didn't lose, they won.
But Skip, my problem is that you will believe this, even though he wasn't on the injury report. LeBron James missed 7 weeks, and you say he was faking.
No, I just thought they were resting him.
No, see? So why do you believe this? Why are you so convinced that he had an issue with his knee and LeBron was resting?
Because he had surgery on his knee. That's a fact. Unless they made it up. If you say they made up the surgery, you got me.
Why didn't they list him on the injury report during the season?
What did I tell you about that Thursday night game number 5 at Chicago when he wound up doing this and you just ridiculed him the next day for losing track of the downs?
Yeah, he did. That happened.
I know it happened. I believe he got concussed in that game, and they did not say boo about it because I think they wanted to make sure his wife didn't hear anything about it so that she didn't put her foot down and say, you're stopping today after the 5th game of the year.
A concussion and a knee issue are entirely different.
Okay. But he had a cartilage tear. We just talked about Joel Embiid. They come in all shapes and sizes, these little flap tears. I don't know if you've ever had one of those. Did you have meniscus? I've had 3 of them, so I know what the X-ray looks like. I know what the MRI looks like, and it can look real bad or not too bad. You can get it scoped where they just go in and clip it away, and if they can keep some of your cushion, because you got to have some cushion or you're going to go bone on bone.
Yeah.
But you got to clip a little bit away so that that flap that's just flapping in the breeze down in your knee doesn't get caught in the mechanism of your knee, because when it catches, trust me, it bites. And it bites with such force that it just shuts you down for a second. But if you shake it off after a while, it'll go away. And you think, oh, wait, maybe I can do this. No, but it'll come back when you least expect it. It will haunt you again. So I believe he started out, by his standards, pretty pathetically last year, because those first 5 games were not pretty. The opener at New Orleans, what did he do? He throws a pick-6 in that game. The 4th game back at home against the L.A. Chargers. We didn't know how good they were going to be at that point, but Justin Herbert threw a party on the defense that day. But what happened in that game? He threw a 2nd pick-6. You came in on Monday, even though they had won the game, you were all over the GOAT. You're saying, another pick-6? What, and you're actually making the case, maybe it is time to think about taking it on home, right? And then game 5 was, so 4 of the first 5, he had the 4 of his worst QBRs of the year in the first 5 games. Well, that's pretty horrendous. But guess what? There was no preseason because of COVID, obviously. Brand new team that had gone 7-9 the year before, and you're just trying to figure it out on the fly.
So when he's playing that bad, why not mention the knee then, that Tom Brady's dealing with a nagging knee injury? Why not mention that then? Okay.
Well, to me, it belongs on the injury report. And so to me, they skirted the rules on that one and got away with it, because I believe it did. What did Clyde Christensen, the quarterback coach, say? It nagged him all year. I'm sure it did. I'm sure there were many times in games. Obviously, he's not a mobile quarterback.
Right.
He doesn't run the
football.
football.
So how about you did nagging him, Skip?
Okay, well, you have to drop back and you have to plant and you have to dance in the pocket. And he has, not good, he has all-time great pocket feed. And just a little bit of right to left to right maneuvers, you can plant and it'll bite you when you least expect it. But you just go power through it. And he did, because after a while, as they started to figure each other out, they got real good. And by the end of the year, his Pro Football Focus grade, he ranked 3rd among all quarterbacks in grade by Pro Football, because he came on so strong at the end of the game, those 2 huge games against Atlanta.
So to be this right now, it bothered him at the beginning of the year, but over the last half, it didn't bother him.
No, I'm sure it always bothered him, or he wouldn't have gotten the scope.
Okay.
Well, as we always say, there's no such thing as minor knee surgery, right? You still have to go in. You have to get put out. You have to go under for a while, and it's... Boy, when you come out of I've done it 3 times, and when you come out, it's not a good feeling. When you first come out, you can bounce back fast from it, but it is surgery.
So why do we need to know this now? We didn't need to know. We didn't need to know. He didn't need to be on the injury report. They didn't need to mention it during the season, but somehow now, because we want to make the story even better than what it already is. Well, that Tom Brady led a team that hadn't been to the playoffs since 2007. After he left an organization he had been with for 20 years.
Okay, but remember, he actually had the surgery. So it's a fact. It's out there. And Clyde Christensen, when asked in an interview a week or so ago about it, he just said, hey, it nagged him all year, but he's going to be much better. So and he said Brady told him, I will be much better because I'm going to be much happier this year. So we didn't have to stress over it or fret over it.
So how many guys you think dealt with something the entire season?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody. Okay. But he's the GOAT. And guess what? What did we see on Sunday night? You paid to go to the movie theater to see it, and I paid to sit on my couch at home. $49.50. I don't know how much your ticket was. Was it in the same ballpark?
Nah, it was $30, I think.
Okay, all right. So I paid $49.50 to sit on my couch and watch Floyd fight. And Floyd's the greatest defensive fighter I've ever seen, and one of the greatest on-target thrower of punches I've ever seen. And it hurt my eyes because he was not in good shape at age 44. Brady, on August the 3rd, turns 44 years of age. And if we see the video, he looks great because he is still into it. Floyd wasn't into getting ready for that YouTuber.
I mean, Floyd's reflexes aren't the same. I didn't want Floyd to knock him out. I just wanted Floyd to beat him so bad he's just like, I don't want to get in the ring no more.
But does that not look like 44 going on 24? He looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury told a recent story that they attended some wedding together in the Bahamas recently, within maybe a month or so ago. And everybody stayed up late, and everybody had maybe a few too many. And he gets in a golf cart and is driving out from his little villa the next morning, and he looks out on some field, and he sees Brady with his trainer, and they're running against resistance bands at 7:30 in the morning. Well, obviously, that's the price you better pay. Because Floyd thought he could just show up and just name the round when I'm going to knock out the YouTuber, and he couldn't because he doesn't quite have the reflexes he used to. Well, does Brady still have the reflexes? I think he does.
Well,
I mean, led the league in air distance last year, so nobody threw it farther than Tom Brady did for the year.
So let me ask you a question. You believe that Tom Brady is the only one that goes on vacation?
Heck no.
Okay.
Heck, I mean, you and I go on vacation, and we're in the
gym.
hotel gym.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm in there every morning bright and early. It's just who I am. It's what I do. But if you're going to play pro football at 44, you better be out there running against resistance bands. And obviously, you got to get your knee back in 100% shape after they clipped it. Because it's going to be a little sore, and you better have it ready for the mini camp. And apparently he does, because they were out there, according to an ESPN report, for an hour and 40 minutes, and he did everything but the blitz drill. They were a little afraid of him, you know.
You don't want to make him make sudden movements or anything like that.
So, but he's acting like a kid. You know, he's out there with the young players and the rookies, and he's just playing football the way he always wanted to play football.
Skip, I don't have a problem with Tom Brady having surgery. If he had something wrong with his knee, he should have got it cleaned up. But my thing is, why are we hearing about it now? Why are we trying to add to the story? Skip, there's something, look, you don't need to add, if your auntie or if granny can make a good potato